Hi and welcome back. Today's video we're going to take this antique piece and we're going to rehabilitate it into something that still looks age appropriate for the Craftsman bathroom, but is definitely modern. Unfortunately, we're going to have to alter this in order to get the new parts in. Makes me sad, but I hate altering antiques. This is actually an antique. I bought it off eBay. So I'm going to start by removing two light sockets that are in here. To start with, we're going to need to take this chain apart. Alright, so I got the pull chain over there. We can drop that through. And we want to start by twisting these. Now, the second I get them loose, they're going to spin in here. Alright. You can see these aren't in too bad a shape. But they will not hold the holders for the lampshades I want to use. Originally this would have had just bare bulbs. So we'll take that, we'll get to the next one. These sockets don't necessarily have any value, but this bad boy, yeah, there's people who look for those, so I may put those on eBay and see what happens. You know, someone's got an antique fixture where one of those broke. Alright, I've already cleaned this off pretty good, so we're good to go. Now, I don't know if these are actually going to fit in here like we want, so what I may have to do is go ahead and pull this back part off. These are actually metal, solid, sturdy metal. They're not tin stuff that you're going to find at a home improvement store. They're actually brass. So, may take this off, which, well, we're going to have to anyways to get the wires in there, but then put this back on to hold it together. However, it gives us that much more clearance. I would prefer to use these because I can ground them, but if I can't, I can't. Alright, so we've got this one taken apart. First thing we're going to do now, we're going to set that aside. And we're going to slide this apart. This one's one with a pull chain. This other one does not have a pull chain. So it means we're going to have to pay attention to how we're wiring it if we want it to work the way it should. So basically we're going to wire them in series. Now, let's have a look. Here's our wire. We only need a little bit of wire. So, I'm going to guess probably half this much. Okay, first thing we're going to do is attach the wires. Now, this is just simple 14 gauge stranded wire. I'm using that because, well, it's what you usually use in lamps, and it's much more flexible than solid, obviously. Now, this is probably twice as much as I need. And we could just twist it and stuff it in there and then be done with it. However, I don't like that. I like to make sure that they're good and solid and good connections and all that. So, what I'm going to do is simply pull off part of the insulation to where I want it. You can see there it extends a little bit beyond the screw, but not too much. I'm going to do that with the black wire as well. This is a lamp, so polarity does not really matter. If you ever have hooked up a lamp before, generally it's all black wires. sometimes black and white, and these days they almost always come with a ground. So whether or not we're going to add a ground, I don't think so. This isn't really designed to be grounded. These are, and if I can get a ground wire in there, I will. If I can't, well, I can't. So, now, what I like to do is basically what they call tinning. I'm not going to solder it to the socket itself. Alright, getting that tip nice and clean. Our solder. Now this is a very low melting, low temp solder. That's fine for electronics. And you just heat up your wire. And while we're waiting for that to heat up, I know some of you are like, oh, he's putting hot on the, heated soldering onto a piece of 2x4. Yeah, well I am. And it will smoke, it will burn. But if I use metal or some other like non-combustible material, typically it's going to draw heat away from it. See if this is ready yet. Alright, so it's hot enough, the wire is hot enough to melt the solder. And here we go. Make sure there aren't too many lumps and that it got into the wire, and it did not fully get into the wire, so on the bottom side we're going to add a little bit more. And that's one. If you hold it on there too long, you're going to melt the insulation, and we really don't want to do that. Okay, there we go. So I did melt the insulation a little bit, but nothing's showing up there. We'll clean our tip off again. Alright, nice and clear. So, now, see it's already backed off, but it won't fit in there. So, take our screwdriver, a little handy dandy screwdriver here. And slide it in there. Maybe not. Suppose it helps if I back it off all the way, huh? So, now, we got it pinched in there. Tighten that screw up. Nice and tight. There we go. Like that. And do the same for the black wire. Now the other thing you could do too is cut up twice as much insulation off. Twist the strands together like I did just before I soldered this, and then loop it around and then put it on there. That's definitely more solid than just sticking the strands in there. Now we can reassemble this. Simply put this back in there. Obviously the keyhole. So we got that ready to go. Now we're going to do the same with the other one. Now, again, cutting these wires probably twice as long as I'm going to need them. But you're better off too long than too short. There we go. Twist them nice and tight, so we're twisting and I'm pulling away. stays nice and straight. Alright. There we go. Again, we're twisting it. So our wires are nice and together, and we're pulling it away from us. Now this time, didn't like the way the solder flowed into the wires. Wasn't very quick, wasn't very even. I'm sure you saw I had to roll them over and solder the back side as well. So this time I'm going to add flux to the wires, which you just saw me do. This is flux. It's cleaner basically, and it also helps the transmit, or it helps the bonding. So this will smoke a little bit. And voila. Nice all the way around. Now somewhere. Very hot iron, that's why it's going so quick. So, as you can see, they're both tinned and ready to be installed on the lamp socket. Now, I'm using 14 gauge. You could use 16, but better safe than sorry. Especially this day and age, though, you could use 16 because most people use LED lights. I am. Before we proceed, we're going to take our two sockets and we're going to dry fit them in there, and what we want to find out is if we need these, or if we can use these, or if we can't. There may not be enough room. As you can see, this one's about the same. Well, this one's longer, and this one's definitely longer. So there may not be enough space in here. Now, first one goes here, and then the other one's going to go in here, and well, maybe a tight fit. Now I remember at the beginning I told you we're going to have to alter this, so right now is when we're going to alter it. It has a notch here, which supposed to line up with the notch in there, but somewhere along the line this one's smaller, and put it over on this side. You can see it doesn't quite fit. Somebody had to knock it off already. So this one is original, and here's that notch again. That keyway, and that's formed right into the porcelain there. Now it's going to give us problems, and so we're going to have to cut those out. That's when I turn to my handy dandy Dremel tool. Is definitely something you want to wear eye protection for, and high pitch, so you probably want to wear some earmuffs too. Now, all we need to do, but we did is we took down that knob so it doesn't interfere with this brass fitting. Now we'll dry fit our sockets again. There. Now we have just enough room for all our wires. remember we have our one with the pull chain, and then we have the one without the pull chain. Now this is where it's going to get interesting, because what we need to do is, because we're going to run these in series, which by the way is not the best way to do this, we're going to have to put these on that, attach a red wire, and then reassemble everything together. The reason you don't want to put it in series is because, well, you basically double the load that way. I don't know a better way of explaining it without getting into fancy terms and whatnot. But one, we're going to be using an LED light bulbs, so not going to be too bad of a deal. And two, really have no intention of the pull chain being used. It's simply there for looks. I actually wired the bathroom that this is going into, another one of my videos, for a switch. So this will actually use a switch. So for both those reasons, hooking them up in parallel is not going to be that bad of a deal. I'm sorry, in series. Now, I don't want this on there anymore. So we'll just cut it right off. That makes life easier too. So we can easily string a pull chain through there. And then that one through there. Place. I'm going to tighten these up nice and tight. There we go. Now, there's not a lot of space for my fat fingers, so this is a walnut. Unlike the wire nuts, you don't twist them together. You press your wires in there. So we're going to line up the two outside ones, and we're going to leave the center one for the wiring. And I'm using my tool here because there's just not a lot of room to get, like I said, my fat fingers in there. Now, I'm going to try to see this. You can see the clear part here. I can clearly see the two wires are all the way seated in there. Now, to prevent this from falling back in there while I'm working with it, I'm going to go ahead and attach the jewel pull chain that I bought. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find this in gold, so it's going to, this part's going to be silver, and I don't need this long of a chain. So, cut one ball above. Maybe. There we go. Well, we'll try that again. Probably should have got a pair of diagonal cutters. Okay. Now I only have one hole left. Now, later on, I'm going to go try and find one of these that's in brass. It's just a connector. So, put our one hole that we had, or one ball, in there. Now this is not easy to do. Another thing I can do is I can go get some gold fingernail polish, kind of goldish clear, and I can paint that with fingernail polish. But you can see it'll work and it looks nice. And yeah, I'm going to have to do something about that gold. It doesn't look all that nice without the gold. So, alrighty. Now, these are our lampshade holders. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to go in. We got them all together. Now, a little fiddling ball, the different little screws, and then I was able to get this all lined up. The center hole here. So, this here is a bracket that will be attached to our wall box. This bracket will then be used to mount our light to it. This nipple will be screwed into there, like so. So all we have to do is put our bulbs in. And we have our redesigned fixture. Well, now we're in the bathroom. Step back a little bit. You can see where this is going to go. This is my Craftsman Style Bathroom that I'm building. Okay, now I've already mounted that bracket and got the ground position. And here's that nipple. Like I said, that nipple will go in here. And then we'll put that cap on and it'll hold it nice and tight. Okay, as you can see, I've already hooked up the black wire. And now I'm going to try and hook up the white wire. Unfortunately, I can't do this and hold the camera at the same time. As you can see, it's all connected. We have our walnuts in there, and you can see the wires sticking out through there. And you know it's a good secure. And if you ever need to take these apart, you can. They pop apart in 3 pieces. They have little release clips. Now we just want to line it up with the nipple and put our nice little brass thumb screw on there. By the way, I got all these parts from different sources online. The only thing that was antique was the porcelain base and the 2 sockets that you saw. Alright, so got that nice and tight, and it's crooked. There we go. So before we go much further, I'm going to put in the lights. This might have been something that the way it looked like in 1928 when it was manufactured, despite, I mean, without these, but bare bulbs. It works. Alright. Okay, so now before we want to get these in that little groove, and we want to do so equally. Okay, there we go. And just enough so it doesn't really spin, but not so tight that you break the glass. So you squeeze in a little bit until it holds. Just kind of adjust it all the way around. Just there, and then you can give them a little bit of a tighten. Now put our bulbs back in. I'm going to be cutting this down so my door doesn't hit it. This is mostly ornamental anyway. Never intended on it being used, so I'm fine with cutting it. Alright, there we go. One unique semi-antique light fixture. Until next time, have a good one.